Welcome to Lead, Follow, Get Out of the Way. My name is Shari Strong, and I am the host of your show. Today, we are so excited that you decided to join us because last week we talked about the STRONG method, how to be strong. And it stood for S is your strengths, identify your strengths. T is your talents. R is your real motivators. O, overcome obstacles. N, identify your needs versus your wants. And G, set your goals. And today, last week we talked about the strengths and the talents and how to tie those together and why that was so important. Today, when you return after the break, make sure you have your pen and your paper because we're going to go into the real motivations. What you think motivates you and what actually does, what drives you, could be a little bit different. And why is that important? Well, we're going to pinpoint your top 2 motivators today, and then we're going to take it from there. So be sure to join us after the break. Welcome to Lead, Follow, Get Out of the Way. My name is Shari Strong, and I'm the host of the show. And we are so excited, as I said before the break, about today's show, because today we're going to be talking about real motivators. What motivates you? So first of all, you need to know this because it helps when you did your strengths and your talents last week. This is going to help you really pinpoint why you do what you do, why you make the decisions you make. If you've ever said, why do I keep doing that? And you get frustrated, it isn't just because it's a habit. There's another reason there. And today we're going to look at one of those reasons, and those are the things that motivate you. Now, another thing that this can help you with is if you have children, let's say, or you are in charge of a team, you have a sales team, you have a project team. It's really important to know what motivates each person. So often, even with children, we tell them what to do. Why didn't you listen to me? You need to do this. Did you not hear me? I told you this. Well, it goes in one ear and out the other because it isn't what they're interested in. Who cares if you told them what to do? Same thing is with your team. The more you know your people and the more you can identify the people around you, what motivates them, that the odds of you having success and influencing their behavior goes up. So, and it's the same thing in churches. I see this all the time in nonprofits, right? People are usually there because that's what motivates them. They're excited about being there. They like helping the community. There's a reason why they're there. And then as soon as they start getting into the delegation, they don't put them in the positions that would bring the highest success. So this is really, really important today because this is going to help you raise your awareness of who you are. You'll be able to take what you learned last week, your strengths and your talents, and now figure out, man, what motivates me? What motivates the people around me? So to kick it off, every week I tell you either a story about myself or somebody I know, and I'm going to share a real personal story with you this week, and when I really found out what my true motivators are, how they influenced my life, and why I'm here today even speaking with you. About 2003, April to be exact, I was in a bad car accident. And it was a beautiful day, Friday afternoon, and 11:59 to be exact, going into Omaha, Nebraska, going to have lunch with a friend. Sun was shining, everything was perfect. Now, as I was driving into Omaha, there was a place where vehicles could cross in front as they wait on the highway. There was a car stopped, another one came around this bad location, hit that car, hit in front of me, spun around, another car came around, hit the back end of my vehicle, the airbag popped out, hit me in the top of the head, tossed my head back, and that's when the fun began. So at first, I thought I was dead. You hear the stories about the smoke and the powder. Well, I actually woke up and thought too, I was not on Earth, but I was. And then I started screaming. But 2 weeks later is when the real fun started. The swelling of my neck, the muscles started going down, and I started losing control of the movement of my head, my tongue. It would stick out automatically, and it was called oromandibular dystonia. Now, another reason doctors say that you can get oromandibular dystonia is because of stress. You can get really stressed out and your nerves start to fire off and you start losing control movements. Well, part of it was stress. I was in the middle of a divorce. I had 3 teenagers and now this. So I was under a lot of stress, but they couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I ended up losing my job. I had to give it up. I ended up delivering newspapers to make a living. This was just 12 years ago, which is amazing. But during that time, every doctor I went to said I would have to have surgery to control it, to learn how to get the movement under control. So they put me on lots of medicines, to make me relax. And, that was fun for about a week. But then I went to the attorneys. Who's going to pay for all this surgery? The gentleman that hit and caused the accident was 21. He had a limit of like $50,000. So, of course, every attorney wants you to sue and take them a civil suit. And I was thinking the whole time, what am I going to do? Collect $100 a month from this 21-year-old the rest of his life? It just didn't feel right. So what's this have to do with motivations? Well, see, what motivated me that day wasn't money. I mean, I ended up sleeping on the floor for the next year. I had church paying my rent. We had to give up cell phones, TV. It was 3 children that had everything went to nothing. It was a rough time. So you would think that money is what would have motivated me to go through with the surgery. It wasn't. It was influence. All I kept thinking was, how am I going to influence this young man's life in a negative way for something that he did not intend? I just couldn't do it. So I had a friend who was a speech therapist, a friend who was a physical therapist, and for the next 9 months, we had a video camera and I videoed every morning my progression. Did a lot of exercising, and they videoed my progression of being able to learn how to control the right side of my face. Now, at the end of the show, I will show you this because I don't ever like to talk about something without showing you. So I will show you, don't worry, it doesn't hurt or anything like that. But, so the course of the next 9 months, I learned how to control the use of my tongue, the right side of my face, keep it from drooping. What I learned that day, and when I reflect back, is my #1 motivator is influence. You tell me I have a chance to influence people in the most positive way, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get there, which is why I'm here today, which is why I've left a great job, because I want to influence the masses in the most positive way, and I believe one person can change the world. So that's the crux of what we're going to be talking about today. There are 7 main motivators that I believe motivate people every day. So we're going to figure out what your top 2 are, why it's important, and how you can use that moving forward. And then we should have a little bit of time to also talk about how to identify those in other people and what that looks like. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one, and these are in no particular order. The first one is social motivation. So social motivation, what does that mean? When you think of social, right, it's people who are out in the public, people who like to be around other people. Now here's what I want you to keep in mind. You might be motivated by all 7 a little bit at any particular time. But in the end, we have a top 2 that you would end up, like I said, going through 9 months of physical therapy because it drives you so much. That's what we're talking about today. So just kind of rank these as we go down them. what they are for you, and then we'll go back and look at them again. Because it could change. Right now you might be yeah, that's me, social. So social motivation are those people who want everybody to be at the party. Now, they don't have to be the center of attention at the party, but they want everybody there. They want everybody to get along. They're usually the people that, invite everybody and say, oh, come on, the more the merrier. It's good. And here's the thing. There's many times I believe I want everybody at the party, but it's not what makes me get out of bed in the morning. It's not what makes me put 2 feet on the floor and go, man, I can't wait to get out there today. Let me give you some clues on who's socially motivated. Many times it's your party planners, your event planners, your people who are very team oriented. They're the ones that try to get the whole team involved, and they don't want anybody not to like it, and they want everybody involved. So they'll make sure there's something to do for everybody. Very socially motivated. They don't like it when people don't like them. You don't have to be best friends with everybody, but they just want everybody to get along and like each other. So socially motivated. Number 2, recognition. Now, recognition, this is pretty obvious for those of you who may be out in like a sales position or where there is competition, where you need the recognition. Now, I will tell you this, and we'll talk a little bit more about recognition motivation after the break. But recognition motivation is probably the most talked about in a negative way. What I mean by that is they get a bad rap. People who are motivated by getting recognition are usually seen as high maintenance. Boy, they need to be the center of attention. And it's looked on as in a negative manner. What I'm going to tell you is if you are motivated by recognition, enjoy it, embrace it, and go for it. People who are motivated by recognition usually don't need a lot of it. They just want it. Give them a pat on the back. If you have a child that is begging for your attention and you get frustrated by that, keep in mind it usually only takes one pat on the back or a hug or I love you or in front of grandma and grandpa and say, this is what Johnny did good today. It is truly about just taking the time to do it. And remember, just because that's not what motivates you.
My team loved Strong Success Academy. We had fun, we learned leadership and sales skills, and we didn't bust our budget. And the Passport Club provided me with an option for additional training for my team that really supplemented our in-house programs well, and yet they could do it at their pace. Really fun way to encourage participation, the Passport Club gives miles for each module completed, and that helped us recognize our top team members quarterly along with the normal sales results. So thank you to the coaches and the trainers at the Strong Success Academy. You guys are awesome, and if you have a team out there, you need to be here.
Welcome back to Lead, Follow, or Get Out of the Way. We are talking about motivations. What motivates you, what motivates the people around you, and why that is important. So we just spoke about social motivation, those people who want everybody to be together in one big happy family and no arguing. They won't get their toes into an argument. They're not going to cause any waves, so to speak. Number 2, recognition. And that's where we were talking a little bit more, and I want to dig into this one a little bit deeper. Recognition motivated means that you want to get the ribbon. You're motivated by the ribbon. You want to be on stage and have your boss say, Jane did awesome. And what I said earlier was, I think these people get the worst rap of the deal because other people who are not motivated by being recognized don't understand the people who need it. And they're seen as, high maintenance or self-centered. Most of them aren't. Most of them are just, they excel and they want to be number one and they want to be recognized for it. Give it to them. And if you are motivated by that, don't be ashamed of it. Now, there's pros and cons to everything. Somebody who is socially motivated can get run over all the time. They're going to feel sometimes like they're being taken advantage of. People who are motivated by recognition, you can use that in the wrong way as well, where it becomes self-centered. It's all about the recognition and not understanding that other people aren't motivated by that. So keep in mind there's pros and cons, and anytime you use one thing too much of a good thing is bad. It's that case here. That's why this is self-awareness. But this is about embracing who you are and enjoying that so that you can be the best you can be, and that you can develop professionally and personally, because remember, you are who you are all day long. All right, so let's move on to number 3. Money. A lot of people are motivated by money. Pure and simple. I like to use Donald Trump. He's very motivated by money. And he gets a bad rap for that. Why? He makes a lot of money, but he provides lots of jobs, whether you like him or not. That's what he's motivated by. There's lots of people who are motivated by money. Your child. Some people say, I'm not bribing my child. Well, it's not a bribe necessarily. If that really is what motivates them, they might like to get the money and not spend it. The money motivates them. If you have a team member, they're motivated by the contest where you put up $50. They'll do anything to get the extra $50. Do it. So it doesn't have to be 1,000, but they're motivated by money. And a lot of people are motivated by money at certain times in their life because they have to be, and that's okay. But just recognize, like, I am not motivated by money, but money also measures my success in what I do. It's a way of measuring. So it might be my number 3 or my number 4. So as you look at the money situation, a lot of times it's, man, I want to achieve something, I want to be recognized for it. You may not make a lot of money at it. So you have to really be able to balance. That's where the N and the strong blueprint, your needs and your wants come into play. All right, the 4th one, influence. I gave you my example. It's my number 1 motivator in life is to be a positive influence on people. I went on vacation last week. I did cannonballs. I've been doing cannonballs into the water, swimming pools, anywhere I could do them for years. It's my way of influencing the masses in a funny way. And I'm sure we might be posting one of those soon. So, but you tell me I have a chance to influence somebody, whether it be in a church organization, a nonprofit, women, children, maybe even a local TV show, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do what it has to do because that's what motivates me. The way I live every day, I even think, man, how can this be used in the most positive way? Sometimes drives my husband nuts. Okay, he's not motivated by influencing others in a positive way every day. All right, love him dearly. All right, number 5, achievement. People who are motivated by achievement, they're the ones that want to get the ribbon that I was talking about with recognition motivated people, but they don't care if anybody knows about it. They're the ones that want to get the 100 on the test every single time. They don't care if it's out there or not. If they happen to get recognition for it, great, but they're going to get 100 on the test. Now, a lot of people tend to get achievement and recognition mixed up. I want to be number 1. I want to help this station be number 1. I want to help people around me be number 1. I'm very competitive. I don't care who knows about it. You can recognize me for it or not. But what happens is people who are motivated by recognition will tend to give somebody who achieves a lot recognition, and therefore they think it's because of recognition they're doing it. It's not. It might be number 3 or 4. I'm not saying I don't want it once in a while, but I will take the test, I will be number 1, and I know when I'm doing it. So the people around you who are recognition are achievement motivated, right? It's about achieving it. I make a checklist. I'm going to do this, check. Then I'm going to do this, check. I get up in the morning. It's about achieving 14 things every day. Check, 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 check. That's how I measure my success. And it motivates me. Yesterday, I got a lot done. I feel pretty good this morning, right? I get to be here. Number one motivator, influence others. My number two, achievement. I had a great day. I achieved a lot off my checklist yesterday. I'm the one that may not be the most organized, but I'm going to make my bed every morning because guess what? I've already achieved one thing. And some days, that's all I need. So, achievement. Number 6, power. There are people who are motivated by power. And it's okay. We need them. I would say I gave you the Donald Trump example of money. I would say his number 2 is power. Number 1 is money. Number 2 is power. He's motivated by having the power. He likes to be in control of his universe. People who tend to have very driven goals, they may not have the best personality, but they might be the most outgoing person in the room. So people who are motivated by power can come from many walks of life. And I think that's where people get messed up with it, if you will. They're not quite sure what they're motivated for, about, and by. Power can be a tricky one. They want the power. They may not want to do all the stuff to get it. They just like having power, and that's where immaturity and self-awareness needs to come into play. People who are immature, not aware of themselves, and they're motivated by power, tend to make the people around them not like them. They're not well liked because they'll say things they shouldn't say. They do things they wouldn't otherwise do if they did have an awareness of it. If you are motivated by power, it's really important that you're self-aware of your communication skills, which we will cover in a coming show. Number 7, purpose. What is your ultimate purpose in life? A lot of people thought I was driven by my purpose, and I am. I know my purpose in life is to influence others. So how I do that is what the decision comes down to. But see, the number one influencer was influence, or number one motivator was influence. So purpose, what's your purpose? Those are the people who always say, I know this is my calling. This is my purpose in life to do this. They get out of bed because it's their purpose. Your pastors, people who own their own businesses often know this is what they're supposed to be doing. Even your athletes, they know their purpose on earth was to do what they're doing, and then they become motivated by influence or money or power. All those things start to show up once they're living in their purpose. So those are the 7 motivators: social, recognition, money, influence, achievement, power, and purpose. What I would encourage you to do over the course of the next week, take a time out, about 20 minutes, and rank yourself. Social motivation. Where do you rank yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, what motivates you? If I had to ask you right now, if you had to pick 2 of these, what would you pick? If you've picked 4 of them, narrow it down. So, recognition on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you by recognition? On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you by money? Here's the thing. Then go back and start ranking your team members. Where are they motivated? Maybe ask them, how are you motivated? What's your top motivations? If we discuss these 7, what truly motivates you? Rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I love the ranking method. It works so well when you're self-assessing, and as you look back in life, when did you have the most success? Even in school, when did you do the best? So take a moment to reflect When are you at your happiest? Because when you're doing that, that's when you're going to know what your top motivators are. When you recognize your top two, circle them, go back to the strengths and the talents that we identified last week. And if you didn't get to see the show, you can go see it online. And tie those together, because you're going to start narrowing in whether it's a dream that you're trying to achieve, a career that you're going to go after, or a title that you need to change in the business you're in. This is going to help you get into the position you should be. Because there's no...
It's not unusual for problems to arise when you're working towards a goal or finishing a project. As these obstacles present themselves, problem-solving strategies can be utilized to help you overcome them so you can achieve your goal. Most people get caught up in the cause rather than the solution. In this course, Problem Solving 101, you'll learn the process to remove or deal with obstacles that the most successful people use so they can focus on solutions and ultimately getting results. Here's what you'll take away from this course. First, how to clearly identify problems and their root causes. Second, the understanding that not all tension is bad. Third, a clear process to resolve problems. Fourth, an implementation plan of the process. Fifth, how to analyze the solution. Fly to new heights in your new career and remove obstacles from your path. Check the calendar to see when this course is.
So I promised to show you my face. So I'm going to start doing this as we wrap up this last minute. Don't worry, this doesn't hurt. But this is what I learned to do over 12 years ago to control the right side of my face. Kind of like Bell's palsy. Here's the thing. Once you realize what motivates you, you can use it to overcome anything, including something like that. The doctor said I would never be able to do that. And the only time I lose control is when I'm really cold or I'm really nervous. So thank you all for making me feel so at ease doing the show. But I want to encourage you, find your top motivator and it will change your life as well. This has been Lead, Follow, Get Out of the Way. My name is Shari Strong with Strong Success Academy. Thank you for being you.